morning. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but here we are in Erith, just south of the River Thames, ready to start section 1 of the London Outer Orbital Path. So a load of videos coming on this channel now as we work our way around London on the Outer Orbital Path. Let's go. And here we are, Riverside Gardens, Erith. And this is where the loop starts. And just over there is the Thames. And we'll see the Thames in a few minutes. So here is the Thames, half a mile wide at this point. And the other side you've got Rainham Marshes, where we're going to finish in some weeks this tour around London. Interesting pubs around here. Here's the Cross Keys, and here's the White Hart, which is an old theatre, I believe. As you see, we've had to leave the Thames for a little while, but we're just going to turn left back down to it and walk away from London initially before we turn back down Dartford Creek. And here we are, down these steps, back to the Thames. Erith Pier. Looks very nice. Used to be a deep water dock. Now it's a pier, benches. Lovely. So that was the Thames. Now we have to walk away from the Thames, and suddenly the landscape changes, and this is what I'm looking forward to about doing this walk. Here we are, Manor Road, nice and industrial, but it'll get rural again in a bit. And here we are, back into sort of countryside. The QE2 bridge taking the M25 over the Thames, and this is where we turn right down Dartford Creek, which is the confluence of the River Darrant with the Thames. See that bridge again in about 145 miles. So here we have the Dartford Creek tidal flood barrier, built in the 1970s. To prevent flooding of the Crayford area when the Thames is at high tide in the winter. Massive structure, love to see it close. Here we are walking along Dartford Creek, right on the edge of London. The last few feet of Greater London. Across the creek there is Kent. So truly edgeland. So if you can hear me over the noise of those quad bikes, here is where the River Cray splits off from Dartford Creek. We're going to head down there now. Amazing little pocket of countryside between the warehouses and the busy roads and the houses of the outer part of London. Fantastic. And now we're back to industry for a short while before, hopefully, we find our way back to the Cray and all that nature. A few roads and railway lines ahead though, so I think it's going to get a bit more urban. Here we are on the A206, and on the other side of the road I can see a sign for the London Loop. Hopefully take us back into the peace of the River Cray, if we get across this road safely, that is. And there's a loop sign, always reassuring. Coming on to Crayford Way now, where I see an opportunity for sustenance. Here's Lindy Lou's tea room in the park by the river here, but shut, unfortunately. It's called Lindy Lou's because it's on the site of an old public convenience. There we are, a little bit of pointless factuality for you. So we just got some chicken from down the road. We're going to sit and eat it at the Penny Farthing Micro Pub and have a local ale.
Cheers!
Oh, cheers.
Cheers!
Okay, refreshed with beer and chicken, off we go. So what's a column like this doing by a car showroom? Well, apparently it used to hold up the canopy of Crayford Cinema. There we are. Bit of local knowledge. And now after that road walking, back to the River Cray. Slightly overgrown. So now just walking round Hall Place Gardens, which is the other side of that hedge. I think you have to pay to go into the house to get in there. Just close to a busy road, which unfortunately we're going to have to walk along in a short time. Rain stopped though, so it's all good. And just beside the railway line, right close to the busy A2, we have this hidden gem. Isn't it gorgeous? Literally 100 yards from that lovely bit of woodland, we have this. Thankfully it's just a short walk. Just passing under the A2 now by the railway line. And down here to Bexley, which is the end of section 1 of the London Loop. Then we'll see whether we want to do any more or whether we've done enough for one day. Just in Churchfield Wood now. Still hear that busy A2, but That's in a different world, really, isn't it? And here we are in Bexley, Church of St Mary the Virgin. Interesting tower. Starts off four-sided, ends up eight-sided. Not quite sure what the architect was on when he built that, but there we go. So we are very, very close now to the end of section 1 of the London Outer Orbital Path. So here we are at Bexley, end of section 1 of the London Outer Orbital Path. I'm going to get the train back to London now. We'll see you here tomorrow for section 2. Cheers.